I'm Dan Kottke, college friend of Steve Jobs. Lived in a group house my whole life with Steve Jobs at a certain time. And I was either the first or the second or third employee of Apple, depending on your number system. I'm the guy who didn't get the Apple stock option, which is why I turned to real estate, because I've made more money in real estate. So at the time I bought my first house, I didn't have a job. I had a modest amount of Apple stock that Steve Wozniak gave me, but I couldn't qualify for a mortgage because I was a consultant without a lot of income. And I was at a party here, close to here, and someone said, oh, there's an investment group getting together to buy a house. You should talk to these people. At the time I left Apple, I didn't really have any money. But then after another year or two, Steve Wozniak, because he's a saint, he gave small gifts to about half a dozen of us who were not engineers at the beginning of Apple, and only engineers got stock options. The first house Steve bought, once he was worth $100 million, he bought a big rambling house in Monte Sereno, down by Saratoga, and for years it was just completely empty. Like no furniture, no carpeting. He had some paintings, and he had a meditation cushion, and you can look up the stories about that. Now that's just about his lifestyle. Steve didn't need to invest in real estate. He had other successes in his life, so to speak. But then what he did is he bought the Jacqueline estate in Woodside, which was semi-historical. And then he was wanting to tear down the whole thing. And then the citizen preservation committees got organized. And because it was a semi-historical building, a lot of people mobilized to block him. And that building sat empty for more than 10 years. And he couldn't move forward. He had plans, he wanted to demolish it. He was willing to demolish just part of it, but no, anyway. It finally got resolved like the year he died. Now back to the question of the big picture of Bitcoin. I loved the statement by Tim Draper about how for the first time in history, governments have to compete for the economic activity of their citizens. I had never heard that before until he said it, even though I've read dozens and dozens of papers now, but anyway, he was the first person saying that, and I think that was a really good insight.